All right. Well, I am joined today by Jack Markwalter of Viva Finance. Really excited to talk to Jack today. So, Jack, welcome to the Geek Speak podcast.
Lincoln, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, I'm just gonna jump in real quick, and this is something that's really been on my mind a lot. So, how did you guys? The name of the company is Viva Finance. How did you guys land on that name, and where did it come from?
Yeah, so when we were starting the company, we knew we wanted to be very mission driven. And Viva in Spanish means he or she lives. And we really wanted our customers to be able to live their lives free of having to think of burdensome debt. And so that's really when we put the name together, decided to do Viva Finance and finance so that people knew that they could come to us for their financial needs.
That's awesome. That's awesome how you came up with it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you had you always had a financial background, or was this something that just came out of of you guys' ideas in launching Vivo?
Yeah. So name is Jack. I'm the CEO here at Viva Finance. I'm 27 years old and grew up here in Atlanta, Georgia. And for school, I went to the University of Notre Dame and actually studied finance while I was there. And finance was not something I always knew I wanted to get into, but kind of in high school, I was always good at math and economics. And so it kind of made sense when I got to college. And one thing that I've really liked about finance so far, I never really imagined that I'd start a lending business, but really liked the aspect of with finance. I felt like it was a tool set where you could really do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And so far, I've really kind of enjoyed being able to work in different areas of finance.
That's pretty cool. And I'll tell you, I stayed away from math in high school. So, you might have been my best friend in high school. So,
Yeah.
tell me. So, who works with you at Viva Finance? Who else is on the leadership team there?
Yeah, so I founded Viva with my younger brother, Hodges. And so we've been there since the beginning, and we've added a lot of employees in engineering, growth, as well as customer success, customer service. We're up to a team of 10 employees now and growing quickly. Hopefully, we'll be around 25 in the next kind of 12 months.
That's awesome. So I did see that you guys just got another round of funding, in order to really, expand the company. How has that, helped you guys so far?
Yeah, it's been great, and I'd say really it's allowed us to replicate our business model. To put it in context, in the year 2020, we did 99% of our loan volume in the state of Georgia. This year, Georgia's not even the state where we're doing most of our loans. Florida is actually our biggest state.
Okay.
And so it's really allowed us the opportunity to expand our business and expand our geographic footprint.
Gotcha. So, okay, with that being said, tell everybody what is Viva Finance? I mean, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so our mission is to build an inclusive financial system by expanding access to affordable credit. And at a high level, really what we do is we offer loans to people based on employment information rather than credit history, so that people with bad credit history but a good job can get access to affordable credit. One differentiator for us is we've got the technology to service our loans directly through payroll as well. And so we've been able to help out a lot of individuals throughout the Southeast in stable work industries.
That's phenomenal. I think, having the ability to work with individuals where they're already a part of an industry that's really stable, and that they're in need of finances in order to, I know you guys probably get things from all over. It may be for a kid's education, or it may be for some home improvement projects or stuff like that. So that's pretty great and really innovative. You guys coming up with this idea.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun to be a part of, and we've really just enjoyed seeing the customer reception and been able to help to refinance a lot of existing expensive debt as well, so getting to save people a lot of money on interest.
Gotcha. So tell me, can you share like some of the industries that you guys are partnered with right now?
Yeah, so right now our biggest industry is education systems. we work with over 40 school systems throughout the Southeast at this point. And so that's really our largest market. We work with a lot of public sector employees, state and local government employees, as well as healthcare system employees. So think hospital workers, nurses, as well as kind of the administrative and custodial staff there. And so those are the primary industries, but we also work with some private sector employers as well. But primarily, we definitely serve public sector employees.
Gotcha. So, what are some of the benefits that you would say of there are some community banks, credit unions. Do you work with banks and credit unions? And what are some of the benefits of those financial institutions working with you guys?
Yeah. So today we've got a couple of marketing relationships with community banks and credit unions, and the way that really works is they'll refer business to us when they have applicants who don't qualify for some of their unsecured personal loans, and we'll also refer back to them applicants as they start to kind of grow their credit profile, and that's kind of in the early stages of partnerships there. But would say that there's a number of ways that we could see working with community banks and credit unions over time, and know that a lot of our borrowers, their deposit accounts are with community banks and credit unions. And so it's a great way to engage with your customers who may not be able to qualify for an unsecured personal loan just due to underwriting parameters with these smaller financial institutions.
Gotcha. So are you guys really competing or are different? How do you differentiate from Payday Lender or somebody like that, that's out there, that they're looking to give advanced people money? What's the differentiator with you guys?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've really made our loans a lot more affordable. We allow people to pay their principal down over time rather than in one lump sum payment. And then also spread out the term of our loans. So with a typical payday loan, it might have a 14-day repayment term where you take out the loan and in 14 days you have to pay the entire thing off, right, with an interest rate in hundreds of % interest. And for us, you'll have to pay your loan off over 2 years. You'll be able to pay your principal down over time and at a much lower interest rate that's just a fraction of the cost.
Gotcha. That's a really, really attractive option for folks that are looking to utilize your services. So I'm glad you guys have that in place. So so tell us a little bit about your financial education resources. I was on your website browsing around, and I saw you guys have some financial education tools and resources. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so we've got 7 online modules that include topics such as budgeting and goal setting, becoming a homeowner, and really understanding what goes into a credit score. We offer all of these modules free to anybody who creates a Viva account. And so you don't have to take out a loan with us to have access to that. You can just give us your contact information and you'll get access to our financial education resources there. In addition to that, we've been doing more in-person lunch and learns recently, where we'll actually go in with to some of our partner employers and speak to topics, various financial wellness topics, and that's been very successful as well.
That's awesome. So I know everyone has had a really tough time coming through last year with COVID, and a lot of businesses were shut down. I know maybe even some of the institutions that you guys were dealing with were not operating in full 100%. How did the COVID year affect you guys, or was it a benefit for your business?
Yeah, COVID, I'd say, kind of affected us in a couple of different ways. And in one way, we actually saw a tailwind for our business just with demand for access to our loans. And also, we've got a fully online application process. And here in Georgia, there's a lot of retail lenders out there who really did not have that smooth of an online application process. And so we were able to help out a lot of people in that way from the comfort of their own homes as people move their transactions online. Separately, from a marketing standpoint, would say we really experienced some headwinds from COVID where, especially getting started, a lot of our intended marketing was in person through employers, during benefits rollouts. And really, we were forced to move a lot of our marketing online,
Yeah.
which in the long run, I think really helped us as a business having to make that adjustment, because that's something that we're able to do both today, and we'll see with the Delta variant how that changes as well
Yeah.
if things start going virtual again.
Yeah.
But those were the primary kind of effects that we saw from COVID.
Yeah, and I think, as businesses continue to, move things virtual, and I think this, you're going to see spikes continue with COVID, and that you guys were ahead of the curve by implementing, some of those digital tools was really innovative on your part. So I think you guys are ahead of the curve when it comes to having those resources in place. So that's really good.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and I know you guys have been a part of a couple pitches, and I think I saw you at Fintech South. How has that benefited your company, or any partnerships come out of that?
Yeah, so I'd say as a whole, we've been so lucky to be headquartered in Atlanta and have such a strong fintech community, and getting to participate in events like Fintech South. And really, a lot of these events that we've been a part of have helped to lead to employer partnerships for us, as well as really getting to meet a lot of different mentors in the community. My brother Hodges and I, as co-founders of Viva, we're first-time founders. And so we're really, as we build this business, there are a lot of obstacles we're running into that we haven't seen before. But a lot of the mentors that we've met through Fintech South and other events that we've been a part of have really helped us to kind of foresee some of these obstacles coming, but also help us to prepare and find a way around them.
Yeah, those partnerships are really key. I know, I'm a part of a couple of those groups with, Fintech Atlanta, and a part of the Community Bankers Association and part of their Fintech Innovation Committee. So it's always good to see, bright young companies like you guys. I mean, you're 27 years old. You're running. You have great ideas on what you're doing to help out, individuals with your company. So I'm proud to see that you are in Atlanta and you guys are doing great things. So definitely continue to keep that up. So another question I had for you was, I know that you guys share a lot of resources with community banks, and so how have you been able to sort of transition from working with local banks here in Atlanta to maybe some of the banks that are in other states? Is there any difference?
I'd say that COVID really did, if there's one positive that came out of it, it's the fact that people are able to work virtually and you're able to start building relationships virtually. And so with expanding to new states, that's something that we've seen is very helpful, where when pitching new business or pitching new partnerships, we can build a lot of those relationships without having to physically go to some of these places. And what's kind of crazy, even in our seed series funding round, we actually didn't meet the majority of our investors in person prior to the investments. That's another area where it just has really changed the business. But I think in person will always trump virtual, but at the same time, virtual has become so much easier.
Absolutely. That's great. So, in wrapping up, I wanted to ask, and I always ask this question of all the guests that are on the podcast. I know, you're well versed in the financial sector, and all the fintech stuff, and you guys are growing your business. But what are some resources or podcasts or books, or what are some things that, if you have any off the top of your head, that you read that keep you on top of what you're doing?
Yeah, I'd say there's a few things, and one thing that I did when we first started Viva that I've continued to do is read a lot of biographies about different founders. And so the Steve Jobs biography by Walter Isaacson is unbelievable. Peter Thiel has a book called 0 to 1, where he talks about some of his experiences with PayPal and learnings from building various businesses. And so I'd say just seeing the different experiences for different ways that people have been successful, because there's not one way to success,
Right.
but there's a lot of different ways that you can get it right. And so reading a lot of those biographies has been extremely helpful for me.
That is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I know I read a lot of books and podcasts, and one of my favorite podcasts is the CMO podcast by Jim Stengel. I don't know if you get the opportunity to listen in on that one. That they interview some really great CMOs that work with financial institutions, but also many different industries. So if you get the opportunity to listen to that one, that's a great one to listen to.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So what else do you do for fun? What do you do to unwind when you're out of the office? What are you doing?
I've been playing a lot of tennis recently. It's been pretty hot in Atlanta, but it's a great way to get a good workout in. And just when you're doing something competitive like that, I feel like you get your mind completely off of everything else that's kind of going on in the world. And so that's been one of my hobbies, and thankfully have a good number of friends who are solid tennis players.
Awesome. Well, I'm not a solid tennis player, but someday if you have an opening, just invite me out. I'll come and I'll hit the ball around, but don't expect too much.
That sounds good. I'll take you up on that, Lincoln.
All right. Well, Jack, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Learned a lot about Viva Finance. Is there anything you wanted to leave with the audience?
I would say just let anybody know that if they're learning about Viva and want to reach out to us for any reason, we're extremely accessible. And so if you just go to our website, you can either call the phone number there, reach out to our information email account, and we can set up a time to speak.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more from you guys. We'll probably have you back on the show again and bring Hodges over, and he could jump on as well. But, let everybody know over there that we're rooting for you guys and so happy to see your success.
Thank you so much, Lincoln. We really appreciate it.
All righty. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Bye.